Edda was warned firmly, "You must never eat while standing. It's a sacred taboo in our land. Those who break it face terrible consequences worse than you can imagine." Mama Nea's voice was calm yet heavy with warning as she spoke to her granddaughter. Ada had just arrived from the city to spend her holidays in the quiet village, reluctantly agreeing to her father's wishes. The old woman's eyes were sharp, unwavering, as if she saw something Ada could not. Ada looked at her grandmother, confused but trying not to laugh. "We actually have a rule about eating while standing. That sounds strange, like one of those old village customs people follow without question." "Yes, my child," Mama Nea said, her voice serious. "Some rules are not to be broken." Edda didn't understand then, but those words would come back to haunt her in ways she never expected. Her father had insisted she come here. "You need to remember where you come from," he said. "City life has made you forget." The truth was, Edda didn't want to come. The village was too quiet, too simple. When the bus finally stopped at the village square, Mama Nea was waiting. The old woman stood tall despite her years, her head wrapped in a bright scarf. She smiled warmly. "Welcome home, my child," she said, pulling Ida into a hug. Ida smiled politely, feeling out of place. She noticed villagers staring and whispering. Adjusting her backpack, she followed her grandmother down a narrow dirt path to a small house at the village's edge. The house was made of mud bricks, cool inside with the scent of hanging herbs. Mama Nea wasted no time. Once seated, she began explaining village rules. "There are many rules here," she said, setting a steaming bowl of yam porridge on the table. "You must not whistle at night, never go near the secret tree alone, and above all, never eat while standing." Edda raised an eyebrow. "Why not?" Mama Nea's face grew serious. "It's disrespectful to the spirits. Long ago a greedy man broke this rule, and a terrible curse fell on him and his family. Since then, no one disobeys." Edda nodded, but wasn't really listening. Spirits, curses. It sounded like an old folk tale. She smiled to please her grandmother, but didn't believe a word. That evening, the village felt peaceful. Crickets chirped, and the trees swayed gently in the cool breeze. Ada helped her grandmother prepare dinner, feeling a little more at ease. "You will join me at the farm tomorrow," Mama Nea said during their meal. "It's time you learn how we live." "Here," Ada groaned quietly but nodded. "Yes, Grandma." As night fell, Ada lay on a woven mat, listening to the village's sounds. The quiet was strange but comforting. She thought about her life in the city and wondered how long she'd have to stay. She had no idea how her actions would soon change. Everything. And not for the better. The next morning, the sun was high when Mama Nea woke her. "Get up, my child. The farm won't wait." Edda groaned, rolling over on the hard floor. Her body ached. She wasn't used to this life, but forced herself up, muttering under her breath. After a quick breakfast of akara and pap, they set out. The walk to the farm was long, winding through thick bushes and rough ground. Edda struggled to keep pace with Mama Nea, who moved with surprising energy for her age. At the farm, the sun blazed overhead. Mama Nea handed Ida a hoe and showed her how to dig the soil. "This is how we plant yam," she explained. Ida tried, but her soft city hands weren't made for this. Sweat poured down her face and her stomach growled loudly. "Let's rest," Mama Nea said. They sat beneath a tree, drinking cool water from a calabash. "Grandma, I'm starving," Ida complained, clutching her belly. "Be patient," Mama Nea replied. "We eat when we get home." But patience wasn't Ida's strong suit. By the time they left the farm late afternoon, she was so hungry her legs felt weak. The walk home seemed endless. Once inside, hunger took over her thoughts. Spotting the plate of rice her grandmother had prepared that morning, she grabbed it without thinking and began eating, standing right in the middle of the kitchen. The food felt like heaven filling her empty stomach. She didn't notice Mama, Nia, enter until the old woman's sharp voice cut through the moment. "Eda, what are you doing?" Mama Nia's voice was a mix of fear and anger. Ida froze, spoon halfway to her mouth. I was just hungry," she stammered. "Did I not tell you? Never eat while standing," Mama Nia shouted, her voice trembling. Eda looked down at the half-empty plate. "Grandma, it's just food. Nothing will happen." But Mama Nia's face said otherwise. "You don't understand. You've broken a sacred rule." Her voice faltered as a sudden chill filled the room. Ada felt it too. A cold wind brushing past, though the windows were closed. The air grew heavy, shadows stretching darkly toward her. "What's happening?" Ida whispered, heart pounding. Mama Nia didn't answer. She grabbed Ida's arm and pulled her close, eyes wide with fear. "You've done something terrible. The spirits are angry." A loud creak echoed through the house, followed by a low, guttural sound seeming to come from deep underground. Ida's stomach twisted, not from hunger, but from fear. She looked to her grandmother for reassurance, but all she saw was panic. "What do we do?" Ida's voice trembled. Mama Nia closed her eyes and muttered a prayer under her breath. "We must act quickly, before it's too late." But deep down, Ida knew the damage was already done. Night fell swiftly, bringing an eerie stillness that hung like a dark cloud over the village. Ida couldn't shake the unease. The strange chill, the groaning sounds, they played over and over in her mind. Mama Nia lit an oil lamp, its warm glow flickering in the small kitchen. She moved quietly, gathering herbs and muttering words Ida didn't understand. "Grandma, what are you doing?" Ida asked, voice shaking. "Preparing," Mama Nia replied, clicking her tongue. "The spirits won't let this go easily." Ida frowned. "It was just a plate of rice. I didn't mean any harm. How can this be such a big deal?" Mama Nia's face hardened. "You don't understand because you don't respect our ways. The spirits don't care about excuses. What matters is you broke their rule." The weight of her grandmother's words hit Ida hard, but she still wasn't sure if she should believe them. She leaned back in her chair, trying to convince herself nothing bad would happen. Then it began. At first, faint footsteps outside the house. Ida sat up, heart racing. "Grandma, did you hear that?" Mama Nia paused, listening. The footsteps grew louder, circling the house. "It's them," Mama Nia whispered, grabbing Ida's arm and pulling her into a corner. "Stay here. Don't move." Ida's chest tightened. "Who's out there?" Mama Nia didn't answer. Holding the lamp close, she approached the door. The footsteps stopped suddenly. "Who's there?" Mama Nia called, steady but firm. Silence. Then, from the darkness, a low, raspy whisper. "The one who stood, the one who disobeyed." Ida's blood ran cold. She gripped the edge of the table, trembling, her knuckles turned white. "Grandma, what's happening?" she whispered, tears welling in her eyes. Mama Nia faced Ida, pale but resolute. "They're here for you. The spirits have come to claim what is theirs." Before Ida could reply, the door slammed open, though no wind had touched it. The lamp flickered wildly, casting strange shadows on the walls. A bone-chilling cold swept through the room, making it hard for Ida to breathe. Whispers grew louder, overlapping with voices seeming to come from every corner of the house. Ida covered her ears, desperate to block the noise. "Grandma, what do we do?" she cried. Mama Nia grabbed her hand, pulling her toward the kitchen door. "We must go to the secret tree. Only there can we ask for mercy." Ida stumbled after her, legs weak with fear. Outside, the air was heavy, and the familiar village seemed transformed. Darkness pressing down, moonlight barely piercing the thick shadows. The voices followed, growing louder with each step. The one who stood. The one who broke the rule. Ida's heart pounded. She clung tightly to her grandmother's arm as they hurried down the narrow path to the secret tree. Mama Nea's earlier words echoed in her mind, haunting every step. At the tree, Mama Nea stopped suddenly and turned to Ida. "Kneel," she commanded. "Kate, kneel," Ida stammered. "Kneel and beg for forgiveness," Mama Nea shouted. Ida dropped to her knees, hands trembling as she clasped them together. Her voice quivered as she whispered, "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to break the rule. Please forgive me." The wind howled, and the ground beneath her knees felt icy cold. For a moment, silence fell. Then a deep, echoing laugh erupted from the darkness. "Sorry?" the voice hissed. "It is too late for sorry." Etta looked up at her grandmother, tears streaming down her cheeks. "What's going to happen to me?" Mama Nea's face was grim. "The spirits have awakened. What happens now is beyond my power." Etta's heart twisted painfully as the mocking laugh echoed all around. The secret tree loomed above them, its massive roots twisting like fingers into the earth. Mama Nea placed a trembling hand on Ida's shoulder. "Do not move, child. Stay on your knees. Show humility, or they will not spare you." Etta tried to speak, but her voice caught in her throat. The air grew heavier, pressing down like invisible hands. The whispers returned, louder, sharper this time, cutting through the darkness. Greedy, disrespectful. She broke the rule. Suddenly, the ground trembled. The roots of the sacred tree writhed as if alive. Ida gasped, crawling backward, but Mama Nea pulled her back down. "Stay still," she hissed. "You must not run from the shadows." Faint figures began to materialize, shifting like smoke in the wind. Their faces were blurred, but their glowing eyes burned with anger as they surrounded the tree. Ida's breathing quickened. "Grandma, who are they?" "They are the spirits of our ancestors," Mama Nea whispered. "They protect this land and its laws. You have disrespected them, and now they demand justice." One figure stepped forward, its voice crackling like fire. "The one who stood shall pay the price." Ida's eyes widened. "No, please, I didn't mean to. I was just hungry." The spirit's gaze bored into her. "Hunger is no excuse for disrespect. The rules are sacred, older than you, older than this land itself. You chose to ignore them, and now balance must be restored." Tears streamed down Ida's face. "Grandma, do something. Please." Mama Nea knelt beside her, bowing her head deeply. "Great spirits," she prayed, voice trembling. "Please show mercy. She is young and foolish. She does not understand our ways." The spirit's whispers grew louder, becoming a deafening roar. "Ignorance does not erase guilt. The price must be paid." The figure raised an eerie hand, pointing directly at Ida. "She has called us with her disobedience. The bond is sealed." The ground beneath Ida cracked, a faint blue light glowing from the fissures. She screamed, gripping her grandmother's arm. "What's happening? Grandma, help me." Mama Nea wrapped her arms around Ida, tears in her eyes. "Listen to me, child. This is beyond me now. You must speak to them yourself. Beg for their forgiveness. Perhaps they will show mercy." Ida turned toward the spirits, trembling. She clasped her hands together, bowing her head as tears fell freely. "Please. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I didn't mean to disrespect you. I'll never break the rules again. Please forgive me." The spirits hesitated. Their whispers stilled for a moment. The glowing fissures dimmed slightly, and the air grew still. Then another voice emerged, low and ancient, different from the rest. "Forgiveness is not freely given. A price must be paid." Ida froze. "What price?" The figure pointed at her, again. "Your life, or the life of another." Ida's stomach dropped. She turned to her grandmother in horror. "What do they mean?" Mama Nea's face was pale, her voice shaking. "They demand a life to restore balance, either yours or someone who loves you." Ada felt the world spin, the spirit's glowing eyes fixed on her, waiting for her answer. Her voice was barely a whisper. I don't want to die." The spirits roared in unison, their forms swelling like a storm around the tree. "Then another must take your place." "Mama." Nia's grip tightened. "No," she cried. "She is my granddaughter. Take me instead." The spirits paused, their glowing eyes turning toward Mama Nea. "You would sacrifice yourself for the one who disobeyed?" "Yes," Mama Nea said firmly. "She is young and has her whole life ahead." Ada shook her head violently. "No, Grandma, you can't do this." Mama Nea smiled softly, cupping Ida's face in her hands. "My child, I have lived a long life. This is my duty as your grandmother. Learn from this. Never forget the weight of your actions." Before Ida could protest, the spirits began to chant, their voices rising into a haunting melody. The blue light from the fissures grew brighter, engulfing Mama Nea. "No, Grandma," Ida screamed, reaching out, too late. The light consumed her grandmother's form. The spirits vanished into the darkness. Night fell silent once more, leaving Ida alone beneath the secret tree, her cries echoing into the emptiness. Ida sat on the cold ground, numb with shock. Her tears had long faded, leaving only the empty silence of the village night. The glowing blue light was gone, and with it her grandmother, Mama Nea, was gone. The weight of the moment crushed Ada, suffocating her. She could not think or breathe. She had lost the one person who tried to guide her, to teach her the ways of the land. A faint voice whispered. Ida snapped her head up, eyes searching the shadows. For a brief moment, she thought she saw a figure, but when she blinked, it was gone. Her heart hammered as she staggered to her feet. "Grandma?" she called, voice shaking. No answer came, only the quiet rustling of wind through the trees. Tears filled Ida's eyes again as she sank to her knees, hands pressed against the earth. "I'm sorry, Grandma. I should have listened. I should have respected the rules." For the first time since arriving in the village, A understood the gravity of what she had done. Her grandmother's sacrifice pressed heavily on her heart, the bitter taste of guilt rising in her throat. She had broken the rule, and now someone she loved had paid the price. As A sat there, her mind racing with what to do next, a cold breeze swept through the village. The air felt different now, colder, more oppressive, as if the spirits were watching, waiting for her next move. The whisper came again, but this time it was clearer, closer. She looked up, and to her shock, standing in the clearing before her was a figure shimmering in the moonlight. It was Mama Nea, but not quite as she had been before. Her grandmother's form was faint, like a ghost glowing with a soft, ethereal light. She looked down at A with sadness in her eyes. "Grandma?" A whispered, her voice trembling. Mama Nea's figure nodded slowly. "My child," she said softly but clearly, "you must learn from this. The spirits have shown mercy. I gave my life to save yours. But this is not the end." A's heart lifted as she reached out toward the glowing figure. "Grandma, I don't understand. How? How can I make things right?" Mama Nea's form flickered, the light around her shimmering like fading embers. "You must return to the village. You must respect the ways of this land. The spirits will watch over you, but only if you honor them. Only then can you bring peace to your heart and to those who have suffered because of your disobedience." A wiped her tears and nodded, her throat tight. "I promise I'll never break the rules again. I'll honor the spirits, just like you taught me." Mama Nea smiled faintly. "Good. You must teach others to carry the lesson forward. let my sacrifice not be in vain." With that, Mama Nea's form began to fade, her light dimming until it was nothing more than a flicker, a memory in the moonlight. Either the voice whispered once more, but now it was only a memory, carried away on the wind. A stayed where she was, still kneeling beneath the secret tree. The night felt different now. The oppressive weight of the spirits had lifted, but in its place was a sense of responsibility, a vow to honor the rules of the land. She stood slowly, wiping the last of her tears. There was still much to learn, much to do. With her heart heavy but her resolve stronger than ever, A began to walk back toward the village. The sun would rise soon, and with it a new beginning, a beginning where A would honor the traditions of the land, the spirits who protected it, and the memory of the grandmother who had given everything for her.